but they have someone behind him. They have to go to the end zone.
Final play of the game, barring a penalty, all the time in the world for Beck. Can anybody get open for him? He'll roll right, lets it go, finds this guy, touchdown!
Still not sure how he was left so wide open. Jonny Harline with the game-winning grab at Utah in 2006. That play voted the #1 play in BYU football history by the fans this summer. And we welcome Jonny back to BYU and to True Blue. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
How did you get so open on that play with so much writing on it?
I was pretty tricky. I started up at the top and just worked my way across. If you look at it when I was coming across, I kind of like waved my hands in a small hole. I'm glad John didn't throw it there because it probably wouldn't have turned out well. But yeah, I kind of got behind everyone. Once John started going back the other way, I just kind of hung back. I was like, well, I think there's enough guys over there, so I'll just hang back here. And it worked out. He saw me and chucked it back there.
Did it take forever for that ball to come to you?
Yeah, and initially I kind of misjudged it. I thought it was going to make it all the way to where I was standing, and that's, hence why the dramatic slide in at the end just kind of made it a little more suspenseful. But yeah, I misjudged it, and the last second had to come up real fast.
As you catch that ball, did you go, hey, my life just changed. I'm going to be heralded in Cougar lore for the rest of my life?
Not at that moment. I was mostly just kind of relieved that, the game was over. We'd won. It was a really emotional game. I thought, we were the better team coming in. We jumped up 14-0, played poorly for the next 2 quarters, and, then kind of made that comeback at the end. But it was just draining. I just remember just feeling exhausted once that game was over.
We're sitting here on a Monday with the big game Saturday night. What is it like for a player to go through this week preparing for kickoff?
It's, as a team, we tried to kind of treat it like another week, although in the back of your mind, it's not really. It's the local rival. It's a big week. It's a little different now. I think it would be a little bit different of a feeling preparing in September rather than in November when we would normally play, just because, you have a little bit more idea at that point in November where the teams are at. And now it's just kind of the beginning of the season. There's still a lot of question marks. But it's just that feeling. You just get that intense atmosphere, fall football, and BYU Utah.
These teams are so much alike. Each team has a whole bunch of return missionaries. Utah has a coach that played and was a star at BYU. But out there on the field, once that game gets going, how much trash talk is going on between both sides? What are you guys talking about?
There's a lot. I mean, not really any themes, I would say, other than just one team, one guy thinks he's going to beat the other guy every time, or vice versa. I remember those safeties were chirping at me the whole game, even though I was smoking them. So they didn't let up. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of trash talk.
In a Robert and I offense, there is a lot of running. The tight ends have been featured, certainly with Dennis and you over the years. Still waiting for that position to kind of evolve in this thing. But are you surprised to see this BYU team running the ball so well? Here we sit, they're #2 in the country running the football.
A little bit. I mean, I didn't picture him that far along, but I knew that, especially with Taysom Hill being such a great runner and explosive player, that they would do more running than normal. As far as the tight ends go, hopefully they'll be getting involved a little bit more. I don't think it's much of a question of the scheme of what they're trying to do. It's not anything that not anything discouraging them from getting the ball. I think it's just something where they need to develop a little bit more trust and get on the same page with the quarterback a little more.
These numbers, BYU's kind of passing concerns, they've ran the ball so well, especially in the Texas game. As you got a young quarterback in Taysom Hill, where does he go to develop the aerial attack?
You got to develop trust between the quarterback and the receivers. That was the main thing between me and John, I think, was that he always trusted me, even if I was covered. I was saying earlier that I had a touchdown against San Diego State in the back of the end zone. I caught the ball and I caught the guy's arm because he'd thrown it in such a tight window. He knew, he just trusted me, and that just comes from getting lots of reps and me making catches that he thought I could make and just coming through. And so as these receivers and Taysom Hill kind of go through that should develop quite a bit more. You got some nice targets, especially Cody Hoffman.
Yeah.
That's a great guy to throw to. So just get it near him, you know, and let him make a play, make you look good.
Having seen the developments with Max Hall to his senior year and John Beck to his senior year, and here's Taysom as a sophomore, where do you see him going? How good can he be?
He can be outstanding. He definitely does got to develop, you know, some accuracy a little bit more and just being on that same page with the receivers. But really, the sky's the limit. I remember it seemed like my sophomore year, John he was just wing everything, you know, just zip it in there, and it's just something, you know, developing a little touch, accuracy. It's just lots and lots of practice. So, but he's got a few years, so he can do it.
You've got your own insurance company developing, which is doing quite well. What about the band? Are you still in the band?
Yeah, I'm playing. I play guitar all the time. You know, I've done a couple shows this year and rock out a little bit. It's just something I've done since like junior high. I've always played guitar, and I played drums a little bit back then, although I haven't played those in a long time. But I get out and rock out quite a bit.
We can hear some of your music there in the background. That's the rock star, Jonny Harline. All right, what happened Saturday night with BYU and Utah?
I just think it's going to be a close game like it normally is. You know, just both teams are going to be fighting to the end, and it's all about a few guys stepping up and making plays. That's just what it comes down to. Don't commit the turnovers. Make the plays when you got to have a play from someone on your team. Where are you going to look? Who's going to do it? And you just got to have those playmakers step up.
How many times has someone come up to you and told you you're still open?
Oh, countless. Yeah, it still happens all the time.
And it's still just as painful.
And I think I am. I'm always like, yeah, I'm pretty open. I don't see anyone here trying to cover me. So.
The great Jonny Harline. Thank you. Enjoy the week.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.